All right, if I can have your attention, I'll call the meeting to order. I want to welcome everyone. I've been advised we do have a quorum. Let's stand and do the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Play ball, right? Yeah. Next up, we have the approval of the agenda. The agenda that's before us here. Hope you've had a chance to look at that. I hear a motion to approve it.
I'll second it, Donald.
Motion and second to approve the agenda. Any discussion about the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor, aye. Opposed? It is approved. Next up, we have the minutes. These minutes are from our March meeting. A motion to approve. Lisa? Second to hear by Mark. Any discussion, corrections, or changes to the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Minutes are approved. Under administrative, we've got the ethics report. Is there any?
We received a message from Joe. He, but he did not have a report today.
But we have no ethics today. All right, no ethics report.
Just today.
Yeah. Yeah, clarify that. Yeah. All right, item 7, financial reports. I think Amanda's gonna help us with this.
Afternoon. You will notice here, so what we've done is tightened up our close process, and in doing that, it's enabled us to present 2 months today because we were previously in arrears. So moving forward, you will see that it's just going to be the prior month, not 2 months prior. So I just wanted to note the change there on that for you guys. And you will also notice some carryover negative amounts, and those are a result of revenue recorded, and then the admin is our share allocation that occurs monthly. So there was a system glitch with that process, and we had to redo it. So as a result, it created a negative that's not actually true. So you will see that corrected. We've already done the entry and stuff for that. And then not noted or not presented here is our cash balances. Again, as I'm kind of getting into this and working with my team, there will be some changes in how this information is presented and providing more useful information to you guys. And something else I've mentioned in previous meetings is just the in-kind matches and kind of taking a dive in that and what those look like currently, and then where we could benefit the ad in reaching out more. So one of those is volunteer hours. And of course, you know, our jurisdictions provide contributions at different points. So we appreciate that. And then some fair shares. So our professional services, as noted on both months and actually even months prior, is a little bit over. We had some openings, and we also refer to our outside accounting agency to get us through some things with the audit. So we'll be pulling some funds as we get towards the end of the fiscal year to cover those shortages. No, I think that's it. So, and again, it's not up here, but our cash balances year over year for the last 2 months, February and March, have been in excellent shape. If anybody needs more details or needs copies of anything, please reach out to me at any time.
Questions and or motion to accept?
Motion to approve.
Second.
I'll second.
All right. Discussion. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of accepting the financial report as presented, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion approved. Moving to our programmatic, I see Katie Jo moving. She wasn't expecting me to move this quick, I don't think, so.
So today I bring you three e-clearinghouse projects for your approval. Two of them are in Grant County. They're both in Corinth. They are both water treatment projects, restoration projects. The first one is for 2 tanks to get rehabbed. The other one is for restoration at the treatment plant. These are both part of the Clean Water Act bill funding, and that funding will be done by the end of the year. So this Grace Herman, our water and wastewater planner, working with the city to get these done by the end of the year. So that's that. The other one is the transportation plan for OKI. As you know, OKI is the NPO, municipal planning organization for the region. That includes Boone, Kent, and Campbell. We at the NKADD do the other, the southern counties regional transportation plan. So again, I ask for your all's motion to approve these 3 e-clearinghouses.
So moved.
Second, any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next up, opportunity zone.
Did not get in your packet, but it is a each phase opportunity zones came out in 2017 with the first Tax and Job Act of 2017. And those are based on census tracts. We had 11 in our area with the new census, and then the new one big beautiful act. Opportunity zones are changing. The governor will be submitting those to the federal government in the July 1st. And so before that happens, we need to submit to the Economic Development Cabinet our recommendations for census tracts in our region. So that deadline is May 29th. I will send you all this document electronically, so you have the link to the Cabinet for Economic Development's website on opportunity zones. But basically, they want you all to supply information about your census tracts that are listed. If you go to page 2, you'll see all of them listed. And if you go to page 4, you'll see all the current ones that they hope to ones that are listed on page 4. Those maps are just eligible. So your census tract, you see your census tract for in your county or your city, and you want to apply for that opportunity zone, please just let me know and we can work through that. It is an Excel file application. They want to make sure that the ones they pick in Boone County are the highest and best use. So industrial manufacturing, logistics, warehouse, but of course, mixed use housing and energy infrastructure development. So again, you see the census tract in your community, well, let me know. We can help you all with that application process. They only want one application sent to the state per census tract. Yes.
One application from the ad?
No, per census tract. So
We don't want the city, the county, the ad, and somebody else to all apply for the same census tract to they want it to be just one application. So
we want to make sure to coordinate with everybody to provide the needed information, data sources, all that kind of stuff with everybody to do that. Yes.
Hey, are those in Boone County around the airport? Are they selected because they are around the airport?
Well, the original one would have been, they met the requirement for low to moderate income. And so the 2017, it was a C census tract around the airport. That's not included in this round. The one census tract we're currently sitting in is not included in the new update. Of the 11 that we had previously, only 4 census tracts are now eligible for the new zone 2.0.
I guess that's good news at all.
It has to meet a low to moderate income. So it's followed by certain percentages, and it is the threshold to talk about medium family income threshold is lowered, and it's probably the biggest one. Looking at that. And there's also different for rural. If you look on page 1, under eligibility, the first bolded thing, it tells you the criteria for 1 and 2 for rural. Rural definition and income distress. So again, that's just an FYI for you, and if you all want to help you work on your census tract, we are more than happy to do that. The third one is, again, just information. We are getting ready to do our SID process. This is 2027 is the big 5-year update. And so this is the time that we are starting to do that for you all. We will be hosting our first community, our steering committee meeting in May 19th here at the office, 9:30 to 11:30. Most of you have received an email about that. If not, let me know. We'll add you to that. Along with that steering committee, we will be doing some surveys. Finalizing the first survey today. It will be released on Monday, and then we'll release 2 other ones. The first survey is just general. The second survey is about trends in our area. So what we did was we took all those plans and projects and all that stuff that we all sit through all those organizations meetings, the BNKY, the chamber, BNKY. You know, everybody has a plan, a strategic plan. We put those all through AI, and it came out with trends for our region of projects and priorities for our region. And so we did a whole survey just using that, which is pretty awesome. And it took maybe 2 hours to do through AI, and it would have taken us days to do that. And we had to read all those plans. So that's really excited about that survey. And the third survey is talking about priorities of projects related to community quality of life. So if you all have some projects in your community that you want to make sure that included in that, I do have some sheets to fill out in the back just about your projects. I know we have EM Park in there and some other ones, but I know there's a lot more projects and proposed projects in our region that we just don't have on our list. So if you take a little bit before you leave to add to that, I'd be really appreciative. And if you have any questions about SIDS, please don't hesitate to reach out to myself or anyone on my team. Grace Herman, Sites, or Blake Madden. Again, SIDS is Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy, which really looks at the infrastructure of our region. And that was a lot in a short time. And you do see the timeline up there. So it would be spread out than we normally do. Well, actually, we did the first time in 2 months, which was not ideal. So this is a lot longer and really looking at the planning process and that. So with that, do you have any questions about that?
Really questions about either one. I know we shifted from opportunity zone to the plan quickly. So questions about either one? Terry, did you want to?
I was just going to remind everyone, the reason that the SEDS, the Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy, is important for us all is because if you have a project that you ultimately want to apply for federal funds, they often ask, I think almost always ask, is this included in your SEDS? And so you can get or deduct points if it's not. So we want to make sure we're tying that. And then the other thing is, if it is tied to it, we can also do a better job of helping you write letters of support so that we can show that tie and just get you all the points that you might want on your federal applications. And then the other thing I was going to say about the SEDS is that we have a pretty aggressive time frame. And one of the reasons why is even though it's not due until the end of 27, as you can see on Katie Jo's timeline there on the screen, we are going to try to get at least the information about what are the highest priority projects per county done in time to submit. So if anybody wants to submit into something for the capital budget for the 2028 General Assembly, you would have that available by May of 27, because as we know, they keep asking for that stuff earlier and earlier. So we've adjusted our timeline so that you'll have all this work done and then you can work with your individual members of the General Assembly to then be able to show them that you've gone through this process and selected these projects. So just wanted you all to know that's the rationale for maybe a little bit of a different timeline than what we've had over the.
Hey, Joe, have you sent anything out on the next meeting for May 19th?
I did, but I'll go back and see. I thought I had you on that mailing list. but I can add.
Sorry.
Yeah.
What time is that?
9:30 to 11. So it is, there is an exit issue that morning, so we did it a little bit late. Make sure that that wasn't a,
Thanks.
Any other questions or discussion concerning opportunity zones or SIDS? All right. Thank you, Katie Jo. Item 11 is the 5310 vehicle purchase. And we have Ivy.
Hey, everyone. So included in your packet is the approval letter for the purchase of a 12-seat passenger van through KPTA and KYTC. The total amount for this purchase is $79,572. This vehicle is intended for use by the Carroll County Senior Center. However, the ad is the administer. And the funds for this purchase are pass-through funds. The ad has successfully purchased 5310 vans in the past. So at this time, I am just requesting the board to make a motion to proceed with this purchase. Thank you.
Make a motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Yeah. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye. All opposed? Item number 12 is our shared procurement update. Chris Courtney.
Martin, like flash, Judge.
Yeah.
Before I get started, I want to share with you a text message I received from my wife this morning on her way to take the kids to school. It's kind of a good story here. It says the kids were moving slow this morning. Instead of the normal, hyperactive, she wanted to be more of a, decided to show a little gratitude. So she asked the kids what they were thankful for. A 16-year-old replied, McDonald's. He's in a 16-year-old mode where he knows everything, right? My 8th grade daughter, who is super smart, she said that she's thankful for MAP testing. MAP testing is the standardized test at the school because she did so well in her math subject that she got to skip her math exam today.
Oh.
And then my 5th grader, he was thankful for recess. I really thought that put things in perspective for today. But back to our regional procurement program. Some of you are aware of a little history here. About a year or so ago, we were contacted by some cities who were not getting the responses from their RFPs that they wanted to for their vehicles. And they came to us, hey, can you help us out? Can you do a regional one to see if we could get a better response for that? And of course, we said, yes, we could. We were happy to help you out. We found out that, through our work and extensive work, to contact those dealerships, we contacted up to 15, only 5 submitted a proposal. We approved all 5 for this. And we also had, hey, we probably need to charge a little fee to our cities for this. It was only a couple $100 to participate. But then they came back to us like, hey, can you help us with some of our waste collection services? How about helping us with our audits? Can you help us find a firm to do our audits? We're having no response and, we're getting nobody to apply for RFPs for those. So we said, yeah, we can do that. And then it led into, well, really, we're going to need some help with this as far as getting better responses to those type of things. So we had several meetings with, and to build upon the success of our regional procurement program with the vehicles, we've been talking with Bespoke Community and Cooperatives. They're a national company. They're fully remote, but luckily we have 2 people that we've been working with here in Kentucky, one in Lexington and one in Northern Kentucky. Liz Fawcett, she's the daughter of Mr. Fawcett, who's the city administrator here in Kentucky. And they will be able to help us. So we're working on an MOU with them. So I just wanted to give you an update. If you are interested in partnering with us in our program, feel free to give us a call and set up a meeting and see what we can work with you on. The good thing is it's going to be at no cost to the cities or and to any of our local governments. How this is going to be profitable is Bespoke charges the vendor a 15% fee on the award of the bid, and we'll get 2% of that fee. 15% of their 15%. Any questions?
Money that's gonna bring in,
Don't know.
need more staff. Will it help with that?
We'll see. I'm excited to see where it'll go. It'll be in, in the MOU, but so working with them on it. So. And I too am grateful for recess, even though.
No action item needed there. All right. Very good. Any questions? Hearing none. All right. Item 13 is the Kentucky RFP Financial Management Services. Tara is going to take this one.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much. Great attendance today. I'm sure it has to do with Amy choosing Chipotle. Very glad to have you all here. This is one, normally we try to have kind of a cadence where things go to the executive committee, especially if they're financial in nature, and then rise to the full board level. So this one's new. We didn't, I did talk to the executive committee this morning about this, but it's an evolving situation pretty quickly. So I did want to make sure that the board was aware, because it could have some financial ramifications to the area development district, actually not just the Northern Kentucky Area Development District, but actually all of the ads across the state. So this is in your packet. This is a letter that was written by the Kentucky Association of District Directors, so it's all the executive directors of all the ads, and Casey Ellis, who is the executive director of that group, to Ms. Holly Johnson. She's the secretary of the Kentucky Finance Administration Cabinet. So this is about an RFP that the state has issued that would change how financial administration of the Medicaid waiver program would work. So right now, we administer the Medicaid waiver program for a number of waivers. You've heard Ann talk about this many times in the past. And we do two things with that. So we have what we call support broker services. So if someone is a Medicaid waiver client, through participant directed services, they have the ability to hire their own home healthcare providers. That's not us. But then what happens is that we want to make sure that that in-home provider is really following their medical plan established by their health team, their doctor, et cetera. And that's where the support brokers come in. They go to their clients. They have about a 40 client caseload, and every month they're going to visit those clients and making sure that those health plans are being followed. So that's the case management component. They're working with those individuals or their representatives if the client is not able to interact directly to make sure that the health plans are being followed and that person is as healthy and safe as they can be living in their home. And again, Anne reminds me of this often. This would be like nursing home level care that they're getting in their home. The other thing that the ads have been doing for like 15 years or so, is that right, Ann? About
2007, so 19 years.
19 years. Time flies. So anyway, is providing the financial and administration piece for those clients. So as you can imagine, a family, that's dealing with, they have a situation where they have to be on Medicaid waiver. It's complex, and then they have to hire their own in-home staff. They might not have any experience being an employer, right? They might not know all of the various HR things and the withholding of taxes and all of that stuff. So we actually provide that service for them. We do it through the state. And so as we call it FMA, for Financial Management Administration. And so we have staff who are actually running the payroll. They're not our employees, but running the payroll for over 1,000 individuals that are being employed by our clients. And so that's the piece that I'm here to talk about today. I know this is a long lead up, but I just want to make sure everybody knows that it is kind of a complicated situation. So the state has decided to issue an RFP, and instead of having the 15 area development districts that are doing the support broker services also do FMA, which we have been doing again for quite some time. They're pulling the financial piece apart, and they've issued an RFP where just one provider will do all the FMA for the entire Commonwealth. And we do have some concerns about that. It's not just about losing revenue, which it would be, but really the concerns have a lot more to do with the services to the clients. And the ability of the financial piece and the administration piece for their staff to get handled appropriately along with their case being managed properly. We like having that together, and we think it is good for the client to have someone local who knows the client intimately, being able to speak on their behalf to our finance staff that are doing this. So we have some pretty substantial concerns about the RFP and the details. You can read the whole letter. I'm not going to read it to you. There's no action for you to take today, but I did want everyone to know about this because it is going to happen potentially relatively quickly if the state follows their timeline that they have proposed, which I believe the deadline for proposals is due the first week of May. And then they actually have proposed rolling this out in August. Which is extraordinarily fast. I mean, I appreciate the laugh because it's crazy, honestly, that they would be able to think that they could roll something out so quickly. We've seen platforms and different things roll out over the years here before, and it's just, they normally take years. So thinking that they're going to select a provider and get it all rolled out in a handful of months is really kind of just shocking. So we are working through our network of ads with Casey and others to have conversations with the cabinet to let them know that we think this is not in the best interest of the clients that we serve, that we have very substantial concerns about how the transition would occur given the time frame that they have said. And so really, I just wanted you to be aware that the executive committee recommended that we do reach out to the General Assembly's Contracts Review Committee, and so we will do that. And if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy. I may not know, but I would be happy to take those questions and then find you the answers if you had.
Home health agencies that are involved with this waiver program.
Home health agencies
A
and
lot of Medicaid waiver programs used to go through home health.
I can answer that.
yeah.
So, yes, they are involved in waiver. However, they're involved in traditional waiver. So they are Medicaid waiver providers. They provide Medicaid waiver services, but they primarily do traditional waiver
So
services.
how is this different than the traditional waiver?
Because it's different because they are directly reimbursed. The agency is reimbursed. In our program, these people hire their own people that they identify, whether it be a friend or a family member, and then those individuals are reimbursed directly.
That's the term, that participant
The directed
directed
service.
means they're hiring their own person as opposed to going to like an agency.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Agency around the state that's positioned to do this financial management services across the state?
There has been some guessing, but we really do not know a particular entity that would be positioned to take on this responsibility.
We're talking tens of thousands of clients, your, NKADD, all of the community mental health centers in the state of Kentucky and a few other agencies. Huge volume of people. And in my experience, I don't believe there is it would be best served by a that does financial management as a specialty. And I don't believe there is one in the state of Kentucky. But there are those out there that specifically do that.
Very intriguing to see if the cabinet has someone in mind. We'll continue to keep you informed of this developing situation. Appreciate the questions. Just wanted you all to know.
All right, any other questions or comments concerning this item? All right, you see on the agenda here an executive session. So to do that, we'll need a motion. This is pursuant to KRS 61.810F.
And motion to go into executive session.
All right, motion, and so Marconi with the second. No, we don't do discussion on executive session, but who do we need to leave the room or stay in the room?
We need myself, Amanda Cooper, and Chris Courtney to stay.
Okay, and the board.
And the board.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
need all of you.
Recording stopped, the recording on.
And we all should get up.
Yeah, we better stop recording. Do we have anyone online today?
There are a few, yes.
Okay, they stay on.
They stay, but the recording.
If they're all board members. Is there anyone? You would need-
Seeking a motion to allow executive director to enter into 2 subcontracting agreements for the CSFP and TFAP programs with Free Store Food Bank using sole source as our rationale for procurement.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All right. Discussion. Any other discussion?
Do we need to put in that motion, just for clarity, that now includes shutting down our warehouse?
Yeah, if you want to.
Probably makes it more clear. Yeah. Mhm.
And then the surplus and the sale of the equipment.
Yeah, and following legal legal requirements for surplus property at those things.
Sale or auction.
Any other comments or discussions or suggestions? All right. With that, all those in favor of the motion with the suggestions that have been mentioned, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. All right, I want to thank the board. These are hard decisions, but thank you for your understanding and your support.
The other thing I'll add is, I think it should stay in this room right now until Tara has an opportunity to talk to the employees.
Absolutely. Great
That's a good
point.
point.
Great point, man. All right. Very good. Committee reports. Do we have any committee reports?
I don't think we do.
All right. Tara, for your executive director's report.
I know we're running short on time, so I'll just let you all know, we are following a number of developments at the federal level related to workforce. We keep hearing rumblings that Congress might be reauthorizing the Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act. It's hard to say. They've been saying they'll do that for a long time, but it does seem like a lot of action is happening in that realm at the moment. So we are taking a close look. If you hear something, you have questions, let us know. Regarding the state budget, as it was passed, a number of interesting things. And I actually forgot to add this one in executive session, but our JFA funds did continue in the budget, but unfortunately, like many things in the executive branch, they will experience a 4% cut for FY27 and an additional 3% cut for FY28. Similarly, our wastewater management contract with the Kentucky Infrastructure Authority will be the same. We are closely watching home delivered meals. Our network of area development districts across the state estimated it would cost about $20 million to administer the program. We were allocated 9.6. So we will be watching that very closely to see what happens with that. And we are grateful, of course, in Northern Kentucky that our team does watch very carefully. And we appreciate our local collaborations as well as our local philanthropic donors who are able to support that work as well. We were added as and like I said, I forgot to say this in executive committee, we were listed as a fiscal agent for a nonprofit organization in Kenton County. Educate NKY is doing something called the Schools of Innovation. And apparently they were called, last minute and said, who's your fiscal agent? And the only group they could think of was us, which is probably a compliment, but I'm not sure exactly how we're going to administer that. But if you saw it in the budget and you thought, oh, I didn't know the ad did school thing, not normally, but we're honored to have been chosen as their fiscal agent, and we certainly will work very closely with our finance team to make sure that is handled appropriately. So with that, I think that concludes my report, unless anyone has any specific question for me. Bill.
Here, I thought that as well about the JFAs, and just for all of our information. Out of Chris's division and Katie Joe's division, JFA pays a fair part for those divisions, for the salaries, correct?
Yes.
In fact, the lion's share.
Yes. That's right.
So with the reductions, at best, that means we won't be adding any more staff. We'll be lucky to keep what we have and continue going on like that.
Yeah, so, little look behind the curtain is that the more grants that we are entrusted to administer, the more administration funds we bring in and the more diversified our financial portfolio is in those two teams. And so both Chris and Katie Jo have done a really great job of finding extra projects and generating their own income. And by doing that, first of all, those teams get more experience and more knowledge about how our local governments work. And so then they're better and able to handle the next local government that needs some help next time. But it also then does provide us with a little bit more diversity and a source of funding so that when we experience these state cuts, then we can weather them a little bit better. But you are correct. We already kind of been working on that analysis, Bill. It's a little soon. We've been a little preoccupied, so I don't have the exact numbers for you. But we elected, and everybody can thank Amy for the awesome work she does, because we were hoping to hire a second, like all team administrative assistant to support the front office. And we ended up not being able to do that just because we wanted to be conservative in our use of funds. And so instead of doing that, we actually have Avery Adams now doing public administration and outreach, and we're able to pay for the outreach piece through some of those administrative funds. So she's supporting the front office. She's not there all the time, but she's doing some of our communications, which is, I think, a critical part of our public administration work, is to make sure that all of our local communities, counties, districts, et cetera, know all the work that we're doing, right? That's a constant need. So we think it's a good fit, but we are working very hard to try to leverage every dollar.
I know you are. And as you know, this is a great interest to me that those two divisions staff up. Please let the board know in the future what we can do to help support you as we figure out how we can do that.
Great. Thing number one is choose us for projects, but I will think of other things too and let you know. Thank you. Any other questions?
Anything else? Any other announcements? I see the 2026 link. Yeah.
Yeah, we are in the category for best nonprofit. I don't recall applying. I think we just got selected amongst many other nonprofits, which is cool. So if you go to your board packet and click on that link, you can vote for us, which would be great.
Are we a nonprofit or an SPGE?
You're both. Nonprofit by tax code, SPG, and Spirit.
All right, I'll take it then if we get it.
For whatever we need to be.
Yeah.
Flexible.
Sound like a politician now. Yeah. Any other announcements or comment? Been a great meeting, tough decisions, but we'll continue to move forward, and thank you for your service. Do I hear a motion to adjourn? Good. Mayor? All in favor of adjournment? Aye. All opposed? Thank you for joining us. Have a great day.